afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. We are so excited. We're going to start with an open masterclass, and the idea behind that is our students are going to come up and they're going to work with our incredible guest artist, Miss Isabel Leonard. And I think we have 5 students who are going to perform. This is going to run until about 5 o'clock, and it's my understanding there will be a short opportunity for Q&A at the end. So thank you for sticking around. Miss Isabel Leonard.
We should just start. Let's just go. I have nothing to say. Yeah. What? Come on. Come on, do I need to open the door? No.
I'm a mezzo-soprano. I'm going to be singing for you Una voce poco fa from The Barber of Seville by Rossini. I'm singing the character Rosina. She's currently living with Dr. Bartolo, and he's trying to marry her. I am in love with Lindor, Count Oliviva, who has been dressing up in different disguises trying to court me. This aria is me professing my love about Lindor and how I will play 100 tricks until I get what I want.
Romeo
to work out the registration shifts, and my jaw loves to be like "Ba-da-da-da-da-da" while I'm singing, which is awesome, but like it's getting in the way of the sound, if that makes sense.
Like, do you think you're over?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And to not be so afraid of the high notes, because I know that I have them. It's just when I'm getting up to them, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, for most of us, it's usually the preparation up until the note, not the note itself. It's like what's behind the door, not actually opening the door, right? Cool. Registration. I think we could just play around a little bit with how you're kind of approaching the bottom.
Okay.
I think you can kind of approach it in a little bit more of a speaky, as if I would say speaky kind of way.
Okay.
If you just say the words, like just say una voz, like we did this a week ago too with some of your colleagues, and just speaking the text, making fun a little bit, like, oh, I'm such an opera singer, una voce poco fa, like just kind of getting it into your kind of yummy speaking voice.
Okay.
Just go ahead and kind of start that and see where it feels.
Una voce poco fa, qui nel cor mi risuono.
Okay, so just make sure that's good. Yeah. Make sure you're connecting, just relax it a little bit more, like release. It's not about placing it into that spot. It's kind of just like really, like you're talking. So I said, una voce poco fa. Like you want this to sort of like vibrate a little bit too, right? It's not, you're not trying too hard.
Yeah.
Is the idea. One more time.
Una voce poco fa, qui nel cor mi suono.
Now, kind of the mix between the two versions that you've just done. That second one is good. It's more in your speaking range. But now, can you connect it to that kind of buzzy sound that you need for singing? So instead of una voce poco fa, una, it's like humming. Go, Una voce poco fa. Una voce poco fa.
Una voce poco fa.
Yeah, qui nel cor mi risuono.
Qui nel cor mi risuono.
Suono. Yeah, do you feel how it kind of just starts to like massage the resonators, right? Because we want them open at all times. So just briefly say una voce poco fa, and then go una vo. Don't even change. Don't think I'm going to go from singing to speaking to singing. Think of it just. I don't even know which is which anymore sometimes. Just think of it like speak, and then right where your speaking voice is, go. Especially because that oo is quite low. So, and if we're too like una vo, that's not your voice anyway.
Yeah.
So una voce poco fa, and it's right there when you say it. That's kind of the pitch. So just say it one more time.
Una voce poco fa. Una voce.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah. And then you just kind of, once you started to sing it, then you were like, I'm a singer.
Yeah.
But just for now, just for as an exercise, all of this is, to take it all with a grain of salt. It's just, this is now time to play and work. It's not a performance. And I know it's so hard because of all these people here. Because it's really awkward. Master classes are very weird. But pretend that they're not here. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so one more time. Una voce poco fa, and then go ahead and sing it.
Una voce poco fa. Una voce poco fa. Qui nel cor mi risuono. Il mio cor ferito è già.
Good. So how did the beginning feel? I know it probably felt a lot more like pared down, but how did it feel vocally?
It felt freer, if that makes sense. Like
Yes.
it felt like it was a long line. It didn't feel like I was going bum.
Yes, and although it probably sounded simpler to you, and it might have sounded simpler out here, there was more consistency for me, at least for my ear, as far as like where your natural voice lies in that phrase, versus trying to make it into something that it's not yet, right?
Yeah.
One more time. Just say una voce poco fa, una voce poco fa, and just go from there. Like speak, and then speak it again, and sing the next line. Speak it again, and sing the next line, and just see what happens. You might hate it. That's okay.
Una voce poco fa.
Wait,
I heard it as soon as it happened.
Yeah, you were like, I'm going to speak, sing, or just, really. Pretend, make mistakes, that's fine. Make funny sounds. I literally just sang 15 minutes of some funny sounds. It's fine. We do it. It's what we do. This is our job.
Una voce poco fa.
Good.
Una voce poco fa. Qui nel cor mi suono. Qui nel cor mi risuono. Il mio cor ferito è già.
Il mio cor ferito è già.
Già.
Make your molars, yeah. Già.
Già.
Better.
Il mio cor ferito è già.
Wait, it was,
Yeah.
so yes, and then you kind of like, ja, and you kind of like tried to like keep it, just, you already did, ja, just, yeah,
Già.
better.
Elindor.
Sorry, no, I know.
Elindor. Fu che il piavo.
Mm-hmm.
Elindor. Fu che il piavo.
Yeah.
Silindoro. Wow. Silindoro.
Sì, just say, sì, l'indoro mio sarà.
Silindoro mio sarà.
Can you say the o? Can you say cilindoro? It was almost like you were coming at this angle instead of like back with the molars. Cilindoro. Get it in the speaking first.
Cilindoro.
Do you hear how it's? I'm not quite doing what I can. Think a little more like the air is coming out of your nose.
Cilindoro.
That's getting closer. And cilindo, a little more hooty, like an owl. Cilindoro.
Cilindoro.
That's better. Okay, try it that way. Cilindoro, and then go ahead and sing that.
Cilindoro mio sarà. Cilindoro mio sarà.
Yeah, I feel like we can play around with that a little bit. How does it feel?
It feels brighter in a good way.
Yeah. No, it is. I think it's just, there's just a little bit more, I think, space that we can find in that O that will give you all of the resonance that you need for that one pitch. Cilindo. Oh, let's try. When you go to breathe, to even speak and then to sing, breathe through your nose and think you're like lifting all of this like inner smile, like and it's great for this character. It works really well, especially for pieces where we can smile and feel good about it. So just think like cilindo. It's like you still want those molars quite high. Not that we can move our top molars, strange things that we talk about. All right, cilindoro. It's a little that apple bitey thing. I'm just throwing out things that might click with your brain. Try it again. Cilindoro. Speak it.
Cilindoro mio sarà.
Yeah. Si. Think even more nasty. E. Si. Do you hear how that's si? Si. That's better. Your tongue has to like relax upwards. Yes. Si. A little bit more. Si. Better. So now cilindoro. Keep the tongue released and up and over that way.
Cilindoro.
Do you hear how it goes? Cilindoro. Keep trying to see if you can just playing around.
Cilindoro.
So go. Go back to the first E though. Yeah, and don't try to change much of that. You're just gonna say cilindoro.
Cilindoro.
Yes. Do you feel how yes? Okay. Try that again and then try to sing it just like that and see what happens.
Cilindoro.
Careful, that E, it's the E. See? Sorry, I just got real picky about one little thing. Oh my god. Cilindoro.
Cilindoro.
Do you hear how your li of lindoro comes off the E place? Yeah, so what happens then is you're giving yourself like all this room and you have to kind of like throw the voice back up instead of keeping it where it was. Yeah. It's really good. Just one more time, easy. Just go, eo. Better. So now just go, eoro. And now sing it. Good. Do you feel like you are in the center of that pitch?
Not really. No, it feels like
Can you go?
good friend of Fritz, who has just recently found out that the love of his life is going to marry someone else. And so, I am giving him this song to help cheer him up with my own tale of unrequited love.
Tell me a little bit more about like the things that you're working on in it specifically. I always ask this, by the way, because I've watched many master classes. I've been in a handful, of course, as a student. And it always seems to come across sometimes that we're never allowed to be autonomous human beings as singers, and that we come into these situations and we're like, clearly I know nothing, you know. And I feel like we're still learning. Even I am still learning. There's still things that I work on and have to go through and have to remind myself of basics. But at some point or another, it's nice to know that you yourself can say what you want, right? Yes. And what you'd like to work on. So that's just a little soapbox. But anyway, go ahead.
So a couple things that we've been working on with this piece have been, again, similar to Gabby, the registration of it and kind of how it's moving. Honestly, we started moving on to physicality and talking about how to more incorporate the pants roll situation of it as someone who is a woman, how that difference can change, and I would love to hear your opinions on that.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely a little bit harder in a concert setting. I would talk more on it, honestly, if we were in a staging situation at the moment. I'm curious though, however, since you mentioned it, is there anything about what you are thinking of physicality that is either hindering you or helping you in your singing right now?
Maybe I was noticing this in myself, how I was using my arms and things. Maybe could be a bit more open so that I could own the space a bit more for myself.
Yes, I had a feeling, or what I was kind of hoping for was a little more, almost like expanse through here in a way that would allow you to keep this sort of the mechanism up here a little more free and relaxed, because it felt just a little contained, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right? Tiny, but just a little bit. Let's go back to the beginning. Now, do you feel like this is something you can kind of smile through?
I can try if you would like me to.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Yes, I can definitely try that.
Yeah, and I'm not talking, it doesn't have to be like this big old wide smile, but I think you know what I mean. Like the singer smile. It's the like getting in there, lifting the back, lifting the tongue, allowing them, you know, all the resonancy, the flexibility of the mechanism, right?
Yes,
that it has to move when it needs to move, and we're not kind of holding it always in one spot. Yeah.
Let's try that.
believe that is what I was doing, but I think it would be better with more legato and maybe a little less of.
I think just for, just for now, because it just says does say dolcissimo ben sostenuto. Think a little bit more of letting the vibrato be the thing that kind of guides you note to note, like your tempo marker. So it's as if your vibrato does this, and every time you switch notes, you're at the top of the vibrato. I know that sounds really weird, but it's just a matter of keeping the air. It's a right? Because then you're kind of having to lift and carry it rather than letting it just flow. Yeah, and keep that back molar. A little bit of that smile the whole way through. Almost like you're letting the sound go this way too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Why don't you just go?
So like if it gets a little too tight like this, it's very hard to get this to, to lift as we need it. So yeah, allow your, first balcony, hi, like, yeah, use that. Sometimes that helps a little bit to just, yeah. That was good. You went una dolce Satan? This whole notion of like opera can be very stifling. And sometimes you just have to be like, la 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 la, right? Da da di da da. Like there's no harm, no foul in having a bright off, especially in Italian. And it will keep you healthy for a very, very, very long time. And the more we get to over the years, that gets harder to fix. I tell you out of experience. So, that was really good. Do you want to try okay, chiedevi? And then when you get to the reason I was doing this is on your E of Ebrezze, try a little crescendo decrescendo. The only reason I'm asking for it is it's just a thing to play around with to kind of really engage your support before you go up. I'm not asking you to sing a soft high note. It's just like da da, and it's just releasing from a place, because usually the decrescendo makes you really have to support, which you are anyway, but just a reinforcement. And then you just sing the top note instead of having to feel like you're like, right? Not that that's what you were doing, but just a little piece of information.
Thank you.
It's fun though, because you can go, so just kind of like, see what happens if you just relax it now into that spot that you sort of found. Want to try it?
Yes.
From Everett?
Alright.
Think, go a little bit at the top there. Good. Yeah. It's gonna take a second to like find the kind of thing. I think your oh is throwing you off because it's high enough that you have to sing it like in what we would call head voice, right?
Yes.
But I'd say oh no. Can you make your oh a little bit more concise, like a little more focused? Because I think you're also like losing some air on it. It's a little oh, and then you get down there and you're like oh god, there's no air left. So just think, or breathe through your nose. Oh la, whatever you need to do, just keep that nice. Oh la. Even smaller and pootier. Yeah, that was better. And when you do it, just be very clear on where that pitch starts. Just because these are the tiny little things that lose air, especially in moments that we're still working through vocally, and we will grow into them. So we just remember, oh, so think. Oh, no. Yeah, better. Keep going. Yeah. Can you do your aha?
Yes.
Ha-di-da. Good. How does that feel?
That felt better.
That was great. The pa-di-da. When you start that. See, now I know you can do that. Which means you can't not do it anymore. Right? But I understand, because like sometimes we get to different, literally it could be like 3 lines later, and you're like, I don't know how to sing an on that line of the staff. Like it's so weird. But that was really great. So if you just think, that felt so good, try to keep all the vowels in line with that right now. That feels really comfy for me, to you. Like that sounds comfy. Wanna try that again?
Yes.
And even when you get your like nullati, so again think, nullati, just Yes. That's working for you. That was so good, and then you just dropped the at the end.
Yes,
That was
yes.
all. That was the only thing that happened there. Polydami. Yeah. Even more. Can we do it? Just because now I'm going to be picky. Really smooth transition from the E to the A. Maybe give that E a little bit more space, even though you're still quite bright, which I love. So you don't does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, and it just has to do with the air again. It's keeping the air easy, not driven, so that you can just go from one vowel to the other easily. Yeah. Okay, good. One more time. Yes, that was better. Do it one more time. Yeah. On your me, you already sound like an opera singer. You don't have to make yourself sound any more like an opera singer. When you do, it gets a little too heavy, right? And that over time will be harder to fix. You don't need to. You don't need it. Can you do your all? And when you go to do your all, just think, ah. I want you to move your head just ever so slightly from side to side. Just ever so slightly. Just to make sure that you're released here and you're not, ah. Does that make sense? Do you feel?
Yes.
And as you came down, because you tried to grip it, and so that's why that happened. Because it sounds great. One more time. This is really good. Just relax. Use your air. Let it breathe. Yeah, that's so much better. That's good. That's great. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Maria Jo Phelps, and I'm singing Montclair sur Reservoir. This is from the opera Samson and Delilah by Saint-Saëns. And in this scene, my character, Delilah, or Dalila, is trying to convince Samson and remind him of the love they shared in the past, and convince him to partake in the love again. Oh, think a lot of it, especially at the beginning, was like phrasing. I'm still working on that for
Okay,
sure.
sure.
And then partially like Gabby and Carly, the registration shifts, especially in the phrases. And intention now that we're
Yeah,
there.
totally. I get that. How do you feel? What kind of vowels do you like to sing on?
It kind of changes on the day. Kind of
Yeah.
like an open, like an OE or an O.
Yeah.
O's kind of scare me.
Yeah.
Because they tend to, I tend to overdarken them.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, it's nice to be on the same page. So, cool. Yeah, because I felt, for example, right when you sang on the second verse. Let me see. That one. The A up there, that felt pretty good to me. Felt like it was more comfortable than some of the A's on the sustained pitches. So that was interesting. Something to play with there, I think, to see what that feels like to you and then transfer that a little bit into where the A position is. Schwas. I wanted to talk about schwas. French, because I love French. In all French, I mean, I'm pretty adamant at this point, mainly because my French coach would murder me if I were not, and I'm here to spread his legacy. I'm like his, disciple. The schwas, I feel, really have to be more loose and open. They're a little too small. Like l'ivresse, it's just all too small.
Okay.
Ivresse, all the mon cœur, ivresse. His name is Pierre Vallet. If anybody's worked with him, they'll know. I'm sure you know. He's like, Isabel, it's Pierre Vallet, blah 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 blah. And so like you have to sing it that way. Get back to the first page of this. Even fleur, right? Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix comme s'ouvre les fleurs. All those things also really help with the line. Comme s'ouvre les fleurs, right? Au baiser de l'aurore, right? Maison-bien-aimée. Let's just play around with that first and see how that plays in your voice.
Just from the beginning. It feels weird, but in a good way.
Yeah, it sounds good out here. Now the it doesn't mean you have to drop everything.
Yeah, okay.
Like on the inside part, but it's just really it's still very, very connected to all the upper resonance, right? So I know sometimes we overcorrect, but we all do. One more time. Think a little more. This is why I love singing in French because of all the nasals. I love singing on it's like makes me so happy. Now it's not obviously we don't want to cut the air off to our nose, but it's so yummy to get into that kind of nasal space. So play around that. Yeah, and on those ahs, that's where you can relax a little bit and you can brighten them up a little bit, I think.
Okay.
Because I think that the darkness is coming from, it's like you're almost holding them versus just letting it, kind of like allowing the sound to curl around those back molars a little more natural versus I'm trying to sing, but letting your voice just sound like who you are. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's nice. And there's a lot more of the kind of upper resonancy stuff that I'm hearing too, which makes it just shinier all around and carries more. It cuts more like that because we need that ping to cut. Otherwise it doesn't. Keep going, that was good. Keep thinking like you're when you're breathing, it's almost like you're going to go bite into an apple. Then, it's just an exercise. It's, again, it's just opening all of that try to allow it to sing on its own, and then see where it goes, and then play with it.
Okay.
Just, ah, it's a sigh. Yeah. You just breathe in with whatever feeling she feels at that moment, and then just stay there and see what happens with the voice.
Okay.
Like a smile, like that. Okay, so yes, I know, I am gonna be picky about it because I feel like it's like just on the edge of like allowing, it's like, do you ever feel like you kind of are afraid to let the voice just do whatever it wants? Yeah, I know, I have that too, because you're not alone, believe me. We all feel that way. Just see what happens if you just, like maybe it cracks, maybe, who cares? I'm not gonna judge you. And if anybody in this room does, meet you outside. So I'm here for you.
Okay. It felt way better.
Okay,
Yeah.
did it sound weird in your head? Like, did you feel like it was like something, you were like, oh no, I can't do that?
It didn't sound weird, just sounded more like resonant out there, but
Yes.
less work. So that's like a little scary when you're not.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it felt better.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, that was beautiful though. Because, okay, great. It was so beautiful though, and it matched you. Like, you know what like we can tell, right? You know when you meet people that have funny speaking voices, and you're like, that's odd. Like, well, you just, and again, no judgment really, but it's just, you can kind of tell that there's something incongruous between the voice and the human. And I feel like we can tell that when we listen to singers too, right? And the most wonderful thing is when you open your mouth and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, you don't even think about it actually. It's when it's really far from, like, oh, it's weird. Like there's some, I don't know, I feel that way. So anyway, that did not feel far from who you are. That felt very much like, do you want to just do that line one more time? Because it was so pretty. Yeah. It'll be another living being right now too. You don't have to recreate, just to be something new now.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep your for now, think of these like teeth in the front. See if that gives you like a physical kind of direction to go in. How did that feel?
It felt way better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was really good. That was really, really good. That was so good. Yay! Amazing.
Yay.
little bit about this. My name is Kitty, and I am a performer for World War II troops. And I'm just talking about the way you feel when you meet a new love, a new crush, and you just really can't stop talking about them. Oh, his eyes, his nose, his fingers, his toes, his smiles when he says please, and when he sneezes, oh! His sneeze! His arms, chest, coat, vest, his everything is sweeter than sweet. I try and try, but honest to Pete, I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, the man that I adore. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him and though I see no boy. Simply can't stop telling about him and yelling about him and telling about him. I can't stop hovering over the moment that we met. Get a pinstripe to what do you call it? A beautiful smile, a barrel of money. I can't stop talking about him yet. He gives me an bell went ball, a whistle went whoa, a trap door open and I slipped right through and now I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. And if he was yours, neither would you. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. Well, I won't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, the man that I adore. I can't stop talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, and though I see my voice, simply can't stop talking about him and yelling about him and telling about him. I can't stop hovering over the moment that we met. Get a pinstripe to what do you call it? A beautiful smile, a barrel of money. I can't stop talking about him yet. He gives me an bell went ball, whistle went whoa, a trap door open and I slipped right through and now I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. And if he was yours, well, neither would you. Stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him and talking about him until your face is blue. From talking about him and talking about him and talking about him and talking about him all day through.
Nice. Oh, tell me, talk to me.
Well, I just can't stop talking, actually. Yeah, so this is kind of a fun exploration, coming from a classical training background, doing crossover, which I know is so relevant in our industry today. So thinking about like some of the skills that I could bring from a classical standpoint into musical theater to help me stand out, but also not to lose the technique of what is healthy and can last me.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. What is it that you think about with this particular one?
With this one, I think it's physicality, and also because it's very repetitive and like not getting. It's like kind of a paradox because she's out of control, but you also don't want to be too out of control at the same time.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I kind of wanted to. Let me see here. Admittedly, there's not a lot that one can do. I feel like this is better with a microphone, this particular piece. I don't say that with all musical theater stuff, but I think there's this particular one because it's so fast. This is like doing something from company. This is like, well, part of me is everybody there because everybody's there. I like to think, let's that one.
Yeah.
Like it's hard in a space like this. I would actually tell you to slow this down because in the acoustic spaces you have to see how it's resonating, and if there's enough of a reverb in a space, especially that you would want to be happy to sing in acoustically, this is really hard to understand, right? No fault of anybody's, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
So you might want to slow it down. That being said, I feel like just little things just to play around with.
Yeah.
Like I think you can like, what's the word? Chew in a way that we don't always chew in opera. More in something like this, so that we can still really catch the singing when there is singing, because most of this is not very singy at all. So when you do have the singing moments, that's when I would really be kind of more deliberate about it, if that makes sense. So like even just in the beginning, like his eyes, his nose, I would be wary of too much extraneous physicality that is actually excess energy versus directed energy. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So his eyes, his nose, like just maybe put him out somewhere in front of you so we can kind of see who you're talking about, even if he's standing like still on stage, but somewhere that's a little more pointed It'll help us also understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? Versus like us being kind of too much us all over.
Yeah.
More like his eyes, his nose, his ear, his toes, whatever the fingers, toes, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's just try that for a second and see how it feels vocally.
Oh, his eyes, his nose, his fingers, his toes, his smiles when he says please, and when he sneezes, oh, his sneeze, his arms, chest, coat, vest, his everything is sweeter than sweet. I try and try, but honest to Pete.
Cool, I like that. Now tell me about the O, his sneeze. How do you feel about his sneeze?
I think it's real cute.
Nice. So maybe you could, just for fun, you can mislead us, by starting it and by saying like, his smiles when he's, his smiles when he says please, and when he sneezes, oh, his sneeze. So that we're coming along this journey with you, and we'll catch the words again even faster. Little subtle decisions like that.
Yeah.
You want to try that, Aaron?
Sure.
And that doesn't have to be your choice. You can make another choice with it.
Oh, his eyes, his nose, his fingers, his toes, his smiles when he says please, and when he sneezes, ah, his sneeze, his arms, chest, coat, vest, his everything is sweeter than sweet. I try and try, but honest to Pete.
Nice. And you can slow that down too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's nothing underneath you, right? Everything is sweeter than sweet. I try and try, but honest to Pete, right? This is all your like recit before the aria kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So take more time with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just do that. That's good. How do you like the whole? How does it just feel directionally?
It feels good. It feels more grounded and also gives me somewhere to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the contrast of the sneeze
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. And also, if we start too fast, you've kind of like given away the point of the whole thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we never want to start an opera knowing what we know at the end of the opera, even if we know it already, right? Otherwise, what's the point of sitting for 3.5 hours? Right? Gotta give the audience a path, a journey.
I felt like I also got to use more of my voice too.
Yeah, and as you go thinking more and more, you're getting more into just like the speaky side of it, which is what this is.
Yeah.
Like all that speaky stuff we were doing with everybody else, this is kind of where this lives. So yes. His arms, chest, coat, vest.
His arms, chest, coat, vest, his everything is sweeter than sweet. I try and try, but honest to Pete, I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, the man that I adore. Can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him and every single bar. Simply can't stop talking about him, yelling about him and talking about him. I can't stop hollering over the moment that we've been. Get a pinstripe to what do you call it? A beautiful smile, a barrel of money. I can't stop talking about him yet.
Okay, that was really good. Because I know now how many more of these you have to do.
Yeah.
I would actually say start slower.
Even slower.
Yeah, for fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like we did, like Canzone di Spagnolo we did last week, right? I would start slow, and slow in a way that like don't give it away. Like don't even let the audience. For anybody that doesn't know it, you can still say like I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. Can't stop. Like it's very 1950s like. Andrew's sisters, like you don't have to go super fast. And that's what makes the fast stuff then later immediately shows us that you're losing your mind.
Okay.
Otherwise you've lost it in the beginning and we're like, okay, like, it's not a girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? We all have that girlfriend that they come in and they're like, right? Like, right? But so just give it a little like, I just can't stop talking about him, and then you give us a chance to catch all the words, this whole first section, because you say a lot of different things actually, and I really want to hear them.
Okay.
Even still, he kissed me and a bell went bong, and a whistle went woo, right, and a trap door opened and I slipped right through, and then the next time you'd be like, no, I can't stop talking about him, and talking about him, and talking about him, and if he was yours, well, neither would you. And then you start the speaky stuff, and then I think as you get into the last kind of iteration of it, I would slowly, really slowly, gradually, because by that point we don't need to hear the words.
Yeah.
Because we know them already, so we will to try that?
Yeah. The first one?
The first round.
Okay. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, the man that I adore. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, though I seem before. Simply can't stop telling about him and yelling about him and telling about him. Can't stop pondering over the moment that we met. He had a pinstripe to what he called a beautiful smile, a barrel of money. I can't stop talking about him yet.
Okay, do you mind if I be picky about it?
Yes, please.
I feel like we can get more words from you, actually.
Okay.
So go as slow as you need to go to really get resonance through the speaking part of your voice so that this first 2 pages are undoubtable for us, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I think like I. So instead of I can't stop talking about him. Go into the like full on, you know, what's her name from I'm blanking on the show. Well, Sarah Brown from Guys and Dolls. You know, or not her, sorry, the other one. In the place that I develop cold. That girl. Adelaide, thank you. Go a little Adelaide in that sense. Just in the sense, we hear a little more like, I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop. We hear a little more just of the zinginess.
Yeah.
And see if you can really, I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him. The man that I adore, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it kind of goes, talking about him and talking about him. It's almost all too even.
Okay.
Like it's impressive when you get faster, but here it's hard to understand.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, the man that I adore. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, and though I seem a bore, I simply can't stop telling about him and yelling about him and telling about him. Can't stop hovering over the moment that we met. He had a pinstripe to what do you call it, a beautiful smile, a barrel of money. I can't stop talking about him yet. He kissed me and the bell went ball, the whistle went woo, the trap door opened and I slipped right through. And now I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. If he was yours, well, neither would you.
Good.
I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. Well, I won't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. Can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I can't stop talking about him, the man that I adore. I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. Can't stop talking about him and though we seem a bore, simply can't stop telling about him and yelling about him and telling about him. Can't stop hollering over the moment that we met. He had a pinstripe to what do you call a beautiful smile, a barrel of money. I can't stop talking about him yet. He kissed me and a bell went ball, whistle went woo, a trap door opened and I slipped right through. And now I can't stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. If he was yours, well, neither would you. Stop talking about him and talking about him and talking about him and talking about him till your face reveal. From talking about him and talking about him and talking about him and talking about him, I did.
It's great. And the physicality, I think if you really block it out into like sections, the physicality will come in naturally too.
Yeah.
Right? But the most impressive thing will be to do it and everybody gets everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the key, because that's what makes it fun. How does it feel to just sort of
Feels good. It feels good. It feels like I'm more on my voice, and then I have more control and more space to go. And it also gives me some new ideas of what I can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't. We're at time here. Okay. Oh my gosh, so sorry. No, that's great. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. preconceived notions, right, for opera singers and non-opera singers alike, for audience members and practitioners alike. And I think that it can be very constraining to young singers when we're always trying to emulate people that have been singing for 30 or 40 years already. And when we expect our voices to sound in a certain way, or we have coaches or people in our lives that either encourage that or talk about big singing or you know, these kinds of things. The voice takes time to develop. And everybody's different. It's such a individual thing. And it's unlike athletes that can start so young, and usually once you're very well developed as a young athlete, right, you're pretty well off in terms of the career is concerned, or like a dancer or things like that. These are things that one needs youth on your side. But I think as far as vocal cords are concerned, there's a lot you can do with youth, but if you're over pressuring and overloading and over darkening your voice in the beginning, you're missing out on what I think is the ability to sing freely. And then you never learn how to sing freely, and you're always manipulating your voice for the rest of your life, unless you decide not to, and that takes time to readjust out of it. It's much harder. Because they're muscles, and the muscles in the voice, like in the body as we age, get stiff, right? Like, we all know that from getting up in the morning. And the same thing happens with the voice muscles, whether we like it or not. So if you're already kind of stiffening the muscles as a young singer, you're really making it much harder for yourself as you get older when they are going to be stiff anyway. So the key is to kind of keep reminding yourself to allow yourself to, I think, to sing with your voice, your natural voice, your whatever given voice whatever you believe in given voice that you have, and then allow it to cultivate into the style that you're singing. I just hear a lot of sometimes young singers who you can just tell they're trying to make themselves sound older than they are. And there's time to sound old. Because when you're old, you're just going to sound old. Like the greatest singers that we have are the ones I think that truly sound still kind of fresh and vibrant and young when they're well into their career or even ready to retire. I'm always kind of admiring how they've approached their singing, because they've protected it along the way. So that's kind of a meandering answer to your question, but I hope that somewhat answered it. Anything else? Is there
questions?
Oh yes, hi.
What are your best tips for like residents?
For resonance, I mean, a lot of what we were doing today is all about resonance, right? Again, singing, when you're not over manipulating your voice, you have a better chance at, I think, finding resonance. I love humming. I love, like singing in the shower is nice, because sometimes you need good acoustics to just give you a bit of a boost so that you're not driving your voice, right? So I always say, like, yes, we probably have a lot of people that say it's like controlled shouting, right, what we do. And in a way it is, but I think for me, I always say go for the resonance versus the volume, because the resonance will cut no matter what size the hall. Volume only goes a certain way, and if you're always pushing for volume, eventually you hurt yourself. So volume and resonance, I think, are two very different things. And just think of sound waves, right? If you're really, really resonating, whatever is in the hall that can resonate will pick up your vibration. It's literally like sympathetic vibrations. The hall will pick up the vibrations, but if you're shouting and you're not resonating, it won't. So that's part of it. Yeah.
How do you, when you're by yourself in a practice room, figure out, because I know in these written, asking to be a little brighter, how do you figure out when you're by yourself when to go brighter or darker, like figure out what you're doing is, like how to correct yourself, I guess?
It's really hard when you're by yourself. It's no joke, because we don't hear what we sound like very well as singers, right? It's very, very difficult to correct yourself kind of at the same time, which is why, I mean, I'm all for, I I gotta tell you, when I was in school, like, I rarely practiced alone. I just didn't, I hated it for one, but I didn't do it because I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. So I spent most of my time with coaches and with my teacher. That was when I was singing. Otherwise, I just wasn't. I was studying and I was doing everything else I had to do, but I wasn't necessarily singing because I just didn't feel like I could correct it. Now I would say I record things that I do. I go back and I listen to it. And I think over time, what you're finding is you're not correcting yourself based off of sound, right? I'm sure you have all of your coaches and teachers that tell you don't listen to yourself, feel what you're doing, but don't listen. Obviously that's hard to do because we hear ourselves at all times, but really, truly, try to feel where things are, because that's the easier way to correct it when you're on your own. Because obviously if it feels wrong, it's probably wrong, right? So that would be my recommendation. I still send clips to my coach, like, just over there, I was warming up, and I was like, this is so high. And I sent something, and I was like, oh! And I was like, I think that's sort of where it needs to be. I was like, but it's dry and crackly and not exactly where I want it. And he was like, yeah, I just feel like you kind of need to get a little more height, and and he just texted me back. So I still want somebody else's ears to, you kind of need it. It's a weird thing that we do. It's not a violin. It's not out here where the sound that we make is the sound that the audience hears. We have bones in our head, resonators. I mean, it is. You know how when you listen to your voice in our answering machine, and you're like, oh god, is that what I sound like? Right? It's the same. It's the same. We have the same problem. Same problem. Yeah.
What advice do you have for discipline after having graduated undergrad and grad school? I think that's kind of something that I'm dealing with at the moment, so I would just love to hear your thoughts.
Sure. I mean, I would say to make sure you have, well, my first manager always used to say, he was like, you're the CEO of your board. He's like, you have to have your board, And at this point in life, it's going to be the coaches and your teacher, right? The people that you trust, that you work with. And just keep working with them. That is really kind of all I can say, I think. Keep developing those skills. Keep singing and working with people and working on music. And finding other things that you like and enjoy that you want to learn how to do, right? You go learn how to dance. Go learn how to play a sport. Go learn how to go take an acting class. Go take a fight class, right? Take things that are actually going to round you out as a performer, right? It's not just about singing. All of those things and if you can, because I also know that financially those things can be tricky too. But hopefully also school can help with a little bit with these transitions, or you never know. You got to get creative sometimes. But yeah, I know it can be tricky, especially if you're not like in a young artist program somewhere or doing an apprenticeship program. I mean, that's why most singers will try to do years after their undergrad and even their master's in young artist programs and things like that, because we still need the time to develop and sing and sing and sing and sing. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yeah.
Because my roommate is a singer at high school. He often practices by shouting to test how deep his voice is. Just like Yeah. So is there a basic way to for practicing, or there's another better way for him?
So in it, does your roommate does this a lot? Is he a baritone? Sorry. He's either a tenor or a baritone. I mean, he's probably not a bass. They never sing. What? So he just walks around the room and he goes like, ah, like that? He's a tenor.
The first time he did it, I just asked him what myself, and he said he was practicing singing.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, maybe you should ask him next time to sing something for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be like, you know what, I'm so curious. Like, would you sing for me? I really want to get to, like, what do you do? But yeah, I mean, yes, tenors, baritones. I mean, we all do it. But those guys, God bless them. They all walk around going Yeah, it's like listening to like peacocks or something. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You have to just tell them to warm up fully and sing.
I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah. I'm flexible. Anybody else? Yes.
I'll try to stay out of this. Just the idea of obviously not doing an imposing sort of technical program on a young voice, but how would you balance that idea with some vocal basics in terms of registering the voice without getting too hung up on categorizing the voice too young, but working with the voice in terms of how it registers the middle into head and beyond, and those ideas. Would you be insistent in any way, or I should say consistent, obviously consistent, but versus not wanting to weigh the voice? I see a lot that you're doing a lot of si canta come si parla. And as a teacher, I think I speak for a lot of teachers in saying one wants to find that balance of not allowing bad habits or no habits to develop.
Yeah. So like how would you, we're talking about kind of like how to program or how to offer repertoire or things like that for young singers mainly?
Not just offer repertoire, but just in terms of navigating through the registers, for example, in a young singer, guarding against, say, spreading the top. Or
Yeah. I mean, I think so. At least when I was in school, and like what I did a lot with my teachers, I did a ton of art songs. I don't think I sang an aria until I was, I don't know, probably not even like a junior or senior in college. I sang mostly art songs. They're short. They're call them unknown, even though a lot of them are not, but they're unknown in that sense. They are also not things that you are going to be performing on stage per se, as an adult singer. We found it really annoying at school when we were there that we didn't sing more operas, and that we didn't learn more kind of what we would consider the basic operas that one should know. But the more I think about it, the more happy I am that I didn't do a lot of that, because even if you're singing really well as a young singer, you're still a young singer, right? So there's still things you're working through. And so the one aria that I did sing early on was Una voce poco fa, and I started learning that early, and I have been working on that aria ever since, because I did it so early. It has gone through iteration after iteration after iteration after iteration, because my brain has changed, my body has changed, my voice has changed. I had a kid, and then I had to get that it has been through the ringer and back. And then I would say that the things that I learned once I was more kind of in the first, the years, call it years 5 to 10 of my career, much easier to learn and much easier to go back to vocally, because the muscle memory is more solid and worked out. So yeah, it's a good question.
You're being really judicious about rep.
Yeah.
Young singers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I never touched Carmen until like, I don't know, 5 years ago. I did not. I refused to do it, because I knew, even with my experience with Una Voce, I was like, oh, that's gonna be rough, So I just stayed away from all of the stuff that I wasn't even gonna be singing in the first decade of my career. I didn't need to. There's plenty of other things to learn, for me, all the French repertoire, all the Mozart Rossini, all the stuff that keeps me healthy. And I keep going back to Rossini, even if I'm doing other things, even if I'm doing Carmen, because it keeps me lined up again. Like if I go back to sing Rossini and it's all over the place, I'm like, oh God, okay. Back to the drawing board, right? It's like just keep reminding yourself. So it's like they're like exercises, right? You know, and again, as you get older, you need to get up and stretch in the morning. Like I never needed to stretch when I got up in the morning, but now I do. And that's the tricky part, I think, too. Because when you're young, you can muscle through a lot of stuff, and it's really easy. But if you don't develop, talking about discipline, if you don't develop the discipline when you're young to love the basics and allow yourself to just do the basics and have a real good relationship with those guys, it gets harder when you get older because it feels like more work when you're older.